Rattlers, what's up? What's up?
What's up?
How y'all doing today? Come on in. Lord, they like to say when they're live, come on in, come on in.
Right. Log on. Wait, what we used to say? Log on, y'all.
Log
Log
on in.
on.
Let us know you're here. We see the eyes and the views increasing as we come on live. So we decided to come on, of course, early because
Yeah,
today is a special day. It's draft day,
it's true.
NFL
It's
draft
the
day,
beginning of the draft.
the beginning of the draft.
Yeah, day one.
There are multiple days that'll happen. But we wanted to make that, although we typically come here on Thursday nights at around 9, we know you all will be in the thick of the draft. I mean, we have some HBCU players that we're looking out for. We have some previous players that we're looking out for. We have some, sometimes we root for other teams as well. So, our professional teams, we want to know what everybody drafted. So we decided we might as well not interfere with the NFL draft night. Let's just come on early, have a pre-draft show, talk about our draft prospects, talk about all things Rattler sports, even a little HBCU community, because we have some other HBCU players
Right. So I got my
get
Hillman. I
drafted.
got my
So
Hillman sweater on because I'm representing
we're
all
trying
the
to be unified.
HBCUs
We're trying to
tonight.
do a little HBCU unity tonight. We're
One
gonna be
Hillman, okay? So I'm representing for all of the HBCUs tonight. One Hillman, y'all know normally I'm decked out in or adorned in my orange and green.
in the orange and
Okay.
green. But we
But
decided tonight
tonight,
we're gonna open this thing up. We're a little early, we know, earlier than usual. So come on in if you're not used to being on here this early in the day. So it's cool. You might be cooking your dinner. You might
right.
be
Just throw a
running a
song in
last
the
minute errand.
background.
Just put us on it and keep watching it. Stay tuned. So let us know what you who's your team? Like it's draft day, right? Or the beginning of the draft. So who's your pro team? Shay, I know your pro team is what? Dolphins, right?
Absolutely.
To be honest, I grew up in Tallahassee, so I don't really have a pro team for football because it just was like, I didn't really have one. So I'm more of like a player kind of girl. Like I like individual players. Now I would tell you this: when it's time for the playoffs, I kind of finally pick who I'm gonna cheer for.
Who you gonna choose?
I'll pick who I'm gonna choose. Frank said Colts for life. Um, Colts got some picks going on, I think, early on. So we'll see what the Colts have going on. We'll see what the Dolphins have going on as well. But like I said, I don't really have a real team that I just grew up loving so much when it comes to NFL. So
Yeah,
I
I'm
just have to look
definitely
out
a
and see.
Miami Dolphin. I'm a Miami
Okay.
Dolphin,
Mm-hmm.
100%. I am a Dolphin girl. But like I said, I am on the lookout for a lot of teams tonight because a couple of them are supposed to be picking up. I'm still claiming them. We still claiming Travis and we still claiming Shador. They still HBCU
The
products.
HBCU guys, yep, they
Yes.
started there.
So
So, and a lot of guys have like the transfer portal is hot, and people have transferred out that have opportunities from other schools.
yes.
So, we have a few guys that eventually will get an opportunity too that transferred out of FAMU and went to some different programs that'll
Right.
in the upcoming drafts, probably next year. Along with the guys that we already have who are
And
in
then
the
we
draft
have
right
some
now.
guys tonight, now that, you know, they're looking to make some waves this week, whether it be um, later on in the week or whatever,
Mhm.
in some of the other rounds, but they are still looking out. So I'm excited because we do have, some guys that we can be watching. We have the, if even if we just look on the HBCU scale, I'm excited to see. I hope that the lineman, what's his name, Vincent from
Vincent,
Alabama A&M.
yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll get. I'm
Yeah,
banking on him getting drafted.
yeah,
He's done well. He's got the eyes on him. He's had him on him the whole
yeah,
off season preparing for this. So I think he'll be good. Miss
yeah.
Janice George says Ash. I'm thinking, are you referring to James Ash, Miss George, Janice George?
Next
Um,
year.
James Ash should be able to come out next year, and he actually is now an Auburn
Hmm.
athlete. So looking for big things to come from him out of Auburn. He's a Rattler for sure. So he's transitioned over to Auburn, and he'll have his opportunity next year to get in the draft. Yes, James Ash is Auburn. That's your son. Okay, okay. That's James Ash's mom.
Okay. Hey,
Um,
Mama Ash, how are you?
so yep, James Ash will have his opportunity. He just saw his announcement. Big things coming from him. Frank says that your Dolphins need a quarterback, so they need to draft
Yes, we
Shador.
do. Wait, now see, now he went too far. He caught me on the first part. We do need a quarterback. But I'm all for HBCU unity, so we're not gonna talk. We do need a quarterback. Let's just say that. But Shador keeps dropping lower and lower.
Yeah,
He's,
they've got some interesting draft stocks on him that just keep going lower and lower than what's expected. I don't know
yeah,
if it's late first round. I don't know if it's mid first round or
second
is it
round.
early second round. Like
Yeah,
every time I look up, it's later and later in the
he's
draft. So
dropping later and later. But we're not talking about nothing negative.
nope,
For these
he'll get
guys.
drafted for sure.
Yeah,
But
we talking all positive. I'm hearing that the last I checked, the Cleveland Browns were in talks with Travis Hunter.
yes, so I believe
Um,
I'm pretty sure he'll go second, like they expect.
yeah, they got Cam going first.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking for some things from our guys. I know that Kelvin is on draft watch. I know that Jamari Gassett is on draft watch. I know that Kendall
Mm-hmm.
Bowler, that Jalen Goss, all of them are, it's a big week for them. They're excited. So we're excited for them in Rattler Nation because the more Rattlers we have in the NFL, the better. Right now we got I was about to say I am 100% a Dolphin, but I do root for the Cowboys because of Marquise Bell.
Marquise Bell.
Yeah, I
Um,
root the Los Angeles, the Rams.
when you
Uh,
take it from that perspective, I got about 5 teams that I'm rooting
yeah,
for.
you got Xavier with
You
Los
got
Angeles.
Xavier,
You got
NFL,
Lane with Indianapolis. You got Terrell Jennings with the Patriots,
Patriots.
and then Marquise Bell with the Cowboys, and then Marcus with the Jets.
Yep, Marcus Riley with the Jets. They were at Pro Day too.
Hmm.
Not all
Hmm.
of them, but Marcus was there. Quite a few of them were there who came back who are NFL players now. So the cool thing
Yeah,
about us Rattlers is that we have a plethora of Rattlers already currently in the NFL, which is
absolutely.
pretty unusual for HBCUs at one time. Usually we might get one or two sprinkled here, maybe even three, but for us to have 5 current active roster NFL players, and then we'll have additionals come this year. Jeremiah Pruitt, Kendall Bowler, Kelvin Dean, all those guys should have an opportunity to see where they may land. That'll just add to our wall. We got to and Bragg, for those of you who go to Bragg often enough or have been there's a wall in Bragg
They'll
where
add them to the
mural.
wall.
So that means it's Dolph equipment manager. You're gonna have to. It's
Had
time
to
to
figure
add.
out a way to put them on the wall.
We got to figure out how to add them to the wall. We got a few that be needed to be added to the wall this year. Penalty Talk says Kendall Bowler will be going to Green Bay at some point this weekend. So Green Bay is interested in him. I will tell you this: I was at Pro Day, and the Jets are
The
highly
Jets
interested
were
in
looking
him.
at him too. A lot of because they had
Actually,
actual coaches that were
yeah,
there.
the DB coach from the Jets was there. I actually had an opportunity to talk to him briefly at Pro Day, and he was telling me how interested they are in Kendall. So I told him straight up, you need to draft a guy. Like don't take him undrafted. Don't try to get him on a mini camp weekend. Draft our guy. He's worth it. You here and you're at his Pro Day tells me that you like him enough, right? So don't lowball our guys. Give them the respect. So I sure told him when I had a chance to quickly talk to the defensive back coach, who is also happens to be an HBCU graduate himself. So he
Mhm.
understands what it's like to go be an HBCU graduate. He got drafted during his time period. He came back. So I love the respect and love that they show for Kendall. So it might be Green Bay. I know the Jets are interested in him as well. Like him a lot. So we'll have to see where Kendall lands as well this weekend.
Absolutely.
So draft is starting at what, 8 o'clock? So we got
Eight
about
o'clock.
32 minutes. And what we plan to do is do this draft pre-draft show, chat with you all about what we think, who do we like, where we think that different athletes will go, and then we're going to end in enough time to make sure that you all have an opportunity to see the draft for whoever's the first pick, for the actual first pick. We don't want to still be live once the actual draft has begun. So that was a lot of the reason why we went ahead and started early so that we could get in, have a fun little chat with you all, and then get on out and let's enjoy the draft. There are quite a few draft watch parties too. So I'm pretty sure. Hey, Miss Meredith, good evening. Good to see you here with us. Do us a favor while we're here as well. Make sure you're liking the actual show on YouTube. I know some of you might be watching through Twitter, also known as X, might be watching also through Instagram. If you can, go to the YouTube page. Do us a favor, go to the YouTube page, like the actual show. Also, subscribe to the channel so you'll get notifications. Not only will that get you notifications, and when you turn on your notification sign, it will also help us to grow our channel and help us to grow in monetization. So make sure you do that for us while you have a chance, and while we're just sitting here chatting a little bit. So outside of that, what are our thoughts? What are we thinking about how this draft should go? Wait and see,
As
huh?
far as our guys or just in
Yeah, our
general?
guys, HBCU guys,
That's what I'm saying.
the
HBCU
X,
guys.
yeah,
HBCU guys are our guys tonight.
yeah.
Okay.
Tonight, one
Ashley,
Hillman tonight.
thank
We
you.
typically try our best not to delve into other people's territory,
Well,
but
it's
tonight, HBCU,
positivity. So it's
it's
one
positivity.
human
It's
tonight.
positivity. No, it's all good. We want all these guys to get an opportunity to play at the
Yeah.
next level, and tonight starts for a
Yeah.
lot of them, starts the opportunity. So
We watching Rob
yeah,
McDaniel at Jackson. Um, we want all our guys to get a shot because no, the rivalry stops on the football field, at least for us. Okay.
mm-hmm.
We not we
Everybody
football,
needs to play.
basketball, or whatever sport it is, it stops there. But when it comes to our guys succeeding, we want them to succeed, and
We
that's
do, we do.
every HBCU. So yeah, we representing one human tonight.
All
We
right.
representing for our guys.
Jacksonville might trade up. Does that mean, to a question, penalty talk? Does Jacksonville
That would change
that would
because
change your spot
Travis,
though, right?
no,
No, Travis.
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 Yeah.
Well, do you think that he'll go number two regardless just because of who he is, or is it going to be strictly based on what's needed? Because draft is about what you need, right? But Shador is such an all-around athlete. I'm sorry, Travis is such an all-around athlete, has abilities on both sides of the ball. Do we believe that if Jacksonville happens to trade him for number two, does that affect Travis being drafted still
Number
at
two,
number
yeah, because it depends on what Jacksonville needs. But let me ask. So, Penalty Talk said that Bowler and Gallup from
two?
Howard, the
Yeah.
only DBs. So here's my question, Penalty Talk. Do you think that he actually gets drafted, or do you think he goes UDFA?
Are you talking
And
about
I mean,
Gallup,
I
Junior,
know
or Bowler,
ultimately,
or
huh?
both? Are you talking about
Both, both,
Gallup
both,
or both?
both, both. Because ultimately, I
I'm about
think
to ask Penalty Talk to come up on this show with us,
uh,
drop the link to him and tell him that if he impromptu, if he's not busy, come up here and talk this NFL draft.
yeah, ultimately, depending on what round he goes, it might be better for him to go UDFA. But do you think that he goes UDFA, or do you think that he actually gets drafted in one of the later rounds? Well, both of them. I'm curious to know your thoughts about both of them because I've been telling Ashley
You've
for
been on it.
weeks. I've been saying that I think my boy gonna get a shot. I really want him to get a shot, but
I really would love for all of them to get a shot, because every draft year, the HBCU community comes back disappointed and potentially not
yeah, they
seeing as many
lowball our
draft picks.
guys.
Right, right. They lowball them.
Browns are
Okay,
open to
Browns.
doing.
Okay.
Okay, okay. The Jacksonville asked for second pick. It would meet Travis Hunter. Okay.
And the Browns now the Browns, whose organization is better? Because sometimes Prime was talking about how it's hard to go to an organization that doesn't have it together, and it makes it difficult for these high draft picks, number ones, number twos, and threes, top five, to go to these organizations that are not the best organization. He said he'll hop on. Okay, I'm about to send you the link.
I've been saying that. I've been
What you
saying
saying?
that. He's saying that Bola and Gallup are 57 round guys.
I would
I've
love
been
to see it, but I'm just
don't want to get our hopes up, but I'm
I'm
telling
not
you,
going to
I
even
think
speak it
I
otherwise.
think this is the year yeah, I
I
really do.
would
I
be
just feel it
so
for Kendall.
elated.
I feel it for
I'm gonna put
Kendall.
the chat in the link for you, penalty talk.
The link in the chat. You
I'm
said the
sorry,
chat and the
put a
link.
link in the chat. Well, you know what I meant.
Yeah, I think Kendall gets them.
If Kendall gets drafted, shoot, Kendall, of course. And if you add anybody else to anybody see you guys to that mix, then that's even better.
Yeah,
Um,
any of our guys.
any of our guys, because we play well. Oddly enough, a lot of our HBCU guys, when they decide to transfer into another program, maybe FBS level, G5 level, they start to get the eyes and the attention that they may not have had
But they
at
still our
the
guys. We still claim
level.
them.
But that just proves, and it also proves that they can play.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
they
We
come in
still
1 year
claiming
and they
them.
can play. Like, so it doesn't change anything. And a lot of our guys, like I said, we have five over the last few years. We've gotten five total current active NFL players. So that means that we're able to produce NFL caliber athletes. They are quality. We can develop them. Our competition, which is also always a lot of talk, is there where they can still thrive. So I'm excited. I would love to see any of them go in any rounds. I kind of think Vincent would go like fourth, fifth round. Carson Vincent,
Yeah, well,
the lineman from Alabama
that
A&M,
was the offensive lineman. I
offensive
think that
lineman.
yeah, but I'm telling you, I think that he'll go. I think that Kendall Bowler will go.
If he
It's
does, I'm telling you, if he's able to go, then that's extremely exciting. Happy for him. And if you think about it, what it does is what you need is that pipeline, right? Like you need for the NFL to see, hey, this university, these types of universities create a pipeline. They develop players. They have pros on their team, no matter what level of ball they play. So we've already shown it, I believe, and that's why you can have a pro day with 15 NFL scouts and CFL scouts, as well as I believe XFL is the other um pro team that was there. So sometimes we don't, even if in the NFL is not your not your opportunity, there's CFL. Our quarterback coach is a current quarterback coach. Coach Henry Burrs is an NFL Hall of Famer and legend, and I'm sorry, CFL Hall of Famer. So there are other opportunities to play professionally that may not be exactly NFL. Of course, that's what we're focusing on today in this, and in this weekend, hoping our guys get an opportunity, draft it for sure. But CFL, our coach Henry Burris is definitely a superstar and a legend in that, right? As a quarterback,
also I forgot Daniel had a he had a workout or something he with the Dolphins. Actually, he
Daniel
was
is
with
Daniel
them.
is has some draft or some NFL opportunity hopes. We have about how many? Daniel, it was quite a few actually at Pro Day,
It's
and I have some
Daniel,
footage.
Jalen, Jamari, Jeremiah Pruitt, I forgot,
Mhm.
Kendall
Kelvin,
Bowler, Kelvin Dean,
did you call
and
Jalen Goss already, right?
who?
Jalen Goss, you already called him.
Yeah, I called Jalen. Yep. So we'll be watching to see where they land, where they end up at, even if it because like Musa ended up in Italy. Was
Yep,
it
he got a pro opportunity outside of the U.S., not
yeah,
CFL, but opportunity
in Italy.
in Italy.
Yeah. And it was a year later. It was almost a year later, but he did get an opportunity. So
What's up?
anytime they have the chance to go to the next level,
What's up?
hey, what's
How
going
are y'all
on?
doing this evening?
Good. How you doing? Thank you for jumping on with us impromptu
Anytime.
like that. But we know you
Yeah,
have your stats and your information down
right. And
pat,
we
right?
asking you all the questions.
You about to come and talk with us. So we having a chat conversation.
Yeah, ask away.
Okay, so let's break down the trade between Jacksonville and the Browns because as far as that's what I said last I knew
mm,
Travis was looking at going number 2 to the Browns. But so has the trade been official or they're still in negotiations for the trade?
so the trade has not been official yet, but
Okay.
because like I sit here and I watch NFL Network more than I watch ESPN just because like I trust the word of like Ian Rappaport more than I trust
Yeah.
like, and they were saying like Cleveland is open to dealing the number 2 pick,
Huh?
and
Okay.
as and I listen to like Tampa Bay sports radio and stuff too because I think that honestly Tampa Bay sports radio is like some of the best in the country. And they've been saying the same thing too. Like if you do move up, if you are Jacksonville from 5, then it has to only be for
Carter.
Travis.
Sure.
Same deal.
Okay.
Same deal when it comes to Chicago, who according to Fox Sports recently they just said that they're trying to move up to get Genty, and I'm thinking to myself, and I just had this conversation with somebody else on X earlier. It's like if you're moving up and you're Chicago, you got to get in front of the Raiders who want Ashton Genty right now
Yeah.
because
Uh-huh.
they need a running back too.
Yeah.
So if you are Chicago, you want to at least maybe talk to the Giants, or you want to talk to New England about dealing that 3rd or 4th pick and doing something so that way that the Raiders can't make that move.
Who has the 4th pick?
So the 4th pick belongs to New England.
The Patriots. Okay.
Yep. And as of now, I mean, anything could happen. They said so far there's been no movement. I definitely think Tennessee's going to stay put. Cleveland, we'll see. I think they have a more pressing need. I think they need to get Abdul Carter because they need a rushing presence.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think Jacksonville, it to me, honestly, I wanted Jacksonville to at least tank and get that 1st or 2nd pick so they could get Travis Hunter. But then
they would have to trade with Tennessee, right? And Tennessee's not trading because they're going to take Cam Ward.
So no, they wouldn't have to because Tennessee would have to. Tennessee is going to stay put.
Yeah, that's what
Jacksonville would have to trade with Cleveland and move up and set up, and then Cleveland could then fall back because I don't think the Giants are going to take Abdul Carter. I don't think New England's going to take Abdul Carter either. And then Cleveland's right there at 5 at that point.
So which organization would you say is a better setup or situation for Travis Hunter since all this trading could happen, or is it just kind of?
I would say Jacksonville because right now Cleveland is. I mean, you saw what they did to Baker Mayfield, and I mean,
right? They've been kind of on the downside for how many years now? I'm kind of afraid for him to have to go to Cleveland.
Dude, my dad was still in the Air Force when Cleveland was last good, and that's a long time. But I would say, yeah, I think Jacksonville's a better fit. I mean, they just got Liam Cohen. You have Trevor Lawrence there. You have ETN there. You have a lot of weapons there still. I think they just need the right guidance.
So if he goes to Jacksonville, what do they play him?
I think you play him both ways.
Ew.
Yeah, we had this conversation last night actually. We had one of our like Saints insiders that Ace knows, and we were doing like a mock draft and everything. And so they posed the question to me because like we did it like like one pick, another guy picks, then I pick. And so the question was, all right, so because we didn't even consider a trade with Jacksonville. We're like, all right, if you're the Browns, do you play Travis Hunter? What percentage offense, what percentage defense? I said 70-30 offense, defense. And then as his confidence grows, maybe you kind of work it. But if he's getting cooked, you don't do it. I think you just make him dedicate to one side. But if he's successful in doing that after 4 years, that next contract is going to be fat.
Oh. Yeah, it is.
So do they pay him? Do they pay him for 2 sides of the ball, or do they, or we say that next contract?
You got to pay him for both sides of the ball in that next contract. Yeah. I'll say this: if it's Cleveland or if it's Jacksonville, if they don't do it, somebody
gonna do it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then he'll be a free agent unless he signs an extension of some sort.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing I did learn too was I don't mean to talk too much.
You're fine.
You're fine. You're fine.
I learned this actually because I guess the Bucks were doing it. Like you're allowed 30 like unofficial visits from like your top 30 draft choices.
Oh.
And like word on the street is you don't have to draft these guys, but like let's say at some point one of those 30 guys you brought in 4 years from that point end up being free agents. Now, hey, What's up? I know we last spoke when you were about to get drafted. You're a free agent now. Maybe they can't pay you, or you don't like their defensive scheme, or you don't like what they're doing with you. Come on down. And one thing that Jason Light said in an interview, who's the GM for the Bucks, is
Mhm.
get information, but do not give information. And he was saying that to a lot of his staff members and stuff because it was very informative and interesting. So I like that strategy. Honestly, to be real with you, I think we all going forward into the fall, we need to use that same strategy with
Hello.
Well, Cozy is using that
He's
though.
kind of using it
He
already
already using it.
with that spring game.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
said that
Oh yeah.
his guys, he's only giving them like I call it a prorated. He's only
Mhm.
giving them a fraction of that playbook and everything. He's
And
already
he gives
using
them
that.
some levels of protection for on spring game because that's just the nature of the beast that we're in right now, and you have to protect yourself and your program
Yep.
as much as they are, because it's every
It's
man for himself.
shiesty.
Feels like,
It's
yeah.
shiesty. We talked about
Yeah.
that. We're not gonna say what we talking about, but we talked about it was a little shiestiness going on at the spring at that spring game. But
I'm
Man,
yeah,
not gonna speak too soon because today it's still Thursday, but I think it passed over us.
yeah.
listen. It closes tonight, but whatever's in there, the ones that have already jumped in. But anyway, Cozy said he changed the numbers around on the jerseys.
He ain't playing them games
Hey,
with you.
definitely so. I,
Man,
I do know what you're talking about. I'll reserve my comments. I'll
assume we
save.
not,
We it's unspoken of. We all
but
got
we
we all
but
feel
we
the
we
same.
saw you. Where's the camera? We saw you. Okay, we ain't gonna say it, but just know we saw you.
All right,
And let
so
me
my
say this:
question.
if Quan Lee end up, we saw
Stop.
you.
Oh. So let me ask y'all this. So whichever NFL team y'all are rooting for, who are y'all hoping that the first pick is for y'all's respective teams?
So I just said honestly, I'm gonna have to sit this question out because I don't really have a team because I had Florida State and FAMU. That's all I had growing up. I didn't
Okay,
really,
that's
I never
fair.
latched onto a team. I've started rooting for my FAMU guys, of course. So
So my team is the Dolphins, and we need a quarterback. Everybody's like, "Oh, Shador to the Dolphins."
That's what I was
I
thinking.
I don't like that.
Because
who you want then? Who what other quarterback?
there's Jackson Dart, there's there's
So
Morrow.
that's who my son says that we should get. My son is 12, but he probably know more than everybody combined. But that's who he says that we should get. But um, yeah, I don't mind that. I just want us to get a quarterback that is gonna stay healthy and that can get our receivers and stuff the ball. So my concern with Shador, I like Shador. I just don't. My concern is that he um sometimes he hold on to the ball too long,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and you know, yeah. I just I wouldn't hate it, but then also too, I also worry about him being in Miami too with his personality.
Oh,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
gonna have time, man. That's what he was going for spring break.
He gonna have a time in Miami. Do
yeah.
you hear me?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
It's,
With
it,
I mean, and Tyreek Hill is like he moving on, but can you imagine if he had Tyreek Hill on the team with him in Miami and Shador? They might get arrested every Sunday trying to come to.
now it's funny you say it's funny you say Tyreek Hill because Ace was saying that last night. What if the Dolphins make a trade? Tyreek Hill's got to be a part of it since he wants out, and plus he's
He went out.
acting like a madman. So I think if they move and they like make a significant move, Tyreek Hill's out of there, or Jalen Ramsey.
That's my thought.
It
And
wouldn't shock.
then, so here's my thought: if you're the Dolphins, are you going to So let me ask you this: if you're the Dolphins general manager, right? Do
Mm.
you want somebody, a quarterback, one of these guys coming out of the draft, or do you try to make a trade for somebody, one of these other quarterbacks that's already experienced? And let me tell you why I say that,
But
because
who
I
would it
feel
be?
like, huh? But so so only reason I say this is because I feel like I can never remember his name, the coach.
Aaron, Aaron Rodgers. Oh, you said the coach.
No, our coach.
Miami's coach.
Oh my gosh.
Is it?
It always skips my
I like him too. He's kind of cool.
I love him. He's very quirky, but I
Yeah,
love him.
yeah.
I like his
Oh,
offensive mind.
Is it
you're
Mike?
talking about Mike
It's not
McDaniel.
Mike.
I don't know. Is it McDaniel?
Yeah,
Well,
Mike
how can I
McDaniel.
can't believe I remember that. Yeah.
Yes.
That was
Okay.
good. It was good.
Yes. So I feel like he would rather go with a veteran. Yes. I feel like he would rather go with a veteran quarterback.
That's what I kind of had in the back of my mind when you said Shador. I'm like, go trade
I don't know if
this
that
out and get a
fits his
veteran
off.
quarterback. But which veteran quarterback? What's up, Troy? Thank you for coming in.
Y'all don't want to know
Now,
who I want.
You want
no, I
We're
will
not
say,
gonna get him.
Who quarterback you want?
what's up, Troy? Also, I will say, I think if you are the Dolphins, if you don't get somebody in this draft, Aaron Rodgers is out there, but nobody wants him.
He's a
To be honest,
dinosaur.
I know exactly. That's why I'm
And I used to
hoping.
love Aaron Rodgers. Let me just say, I was a big Aaron Rodgers fan. He was one of my favorites. The
Yeah.
man was a solid, but he's too old now. And now that would piss me off. That would
Mhm.
piss me if they get Aaron Rodgers, because we keep getting these. Last year, Tua. I don't get no Aaron Rodgers. Not Aaron Rodgers. Not. I'll take
Okay,
Shador.
Troy. Okay, I see in the chat. Troy said the Raiders better not mess up his draft, or he gonna crash out. So Troy, tell us in the chat who you gonna be mad about them getting? The specific player you want? Are they just bad at drafting in your opinion? Like, tell us some more about this.
We had this discussion earlier. Me and him had this discussion earlier where he was saying he's like the Raiders better not let Jacksonville, oh no, not Jacksonville. The Raiders better not let Chicago go up and get Genty.
Genty will be right.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
That's why I'm like, hey, they better make a call. And
they
talk to the Giants or talk to the Patriots.
Okay,
about
I might miss this, but where's the Raiders draft pick? Which pick do they have?
They're 6.
They got to make a big.
You think Genty gonna stay 6?
No, but and so here's the thing though. What kind of trade? What do you have to give up? Like 3 first-round draft picks? What do you have to give up
to move up like that? If you're the Raiders and
2
you want to move
first-round
up
draft
like that, you probably got to give up like your first and your third, and then maybe like another pick in next year's draft, possibly, or whatever you do. Don't do what not Don Shula. Don't do what Mike Ditka did for oh my gosh, what's his name? He went to Texas, the running back. But anyway, it was a running back that Mike Ditka traded for coming out of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
He was the head coach of the Saints. He traded the entire draft to move up to get. It was Ricky Williams. He traded the entire draft to move up to get Ricky Williams just for 1 pick. It was probably the dumbest thing you could ever do. Yeah. Troy's right. Yeah, Ricky Williams. And Mike Ditka did not. I don't think Mike Ditka coached after that. It was so bad. Yeah.
Agent Master P has been everything. Do y'all know that? Master P.
Are you joking right now? He was really his agent.
He's a hustler of all hustlers. Was he really his agent? I don't know, because Troy played too much anyway, so I can't even trust that.
That's right. Yeah, he was traded for like 7 picks. It was, and then the funny thing too. And there's another funny draft story that I found out. The Bucks, I think it was like the year before, like Dan Marino and John Elway, all those guys came out. The Bucks had a pick where they could have gotten, like, they wanted this guy out of Bethune-Cookman, like an edge rusher, with their first pick. And so they fumbled the pick. They messed up and got another guy out of another school. They traded away their first round pick that year, where Elway and Marino were supposed to come out to get the guy from Bethune. The guy that they didn't want to get ended up working out. The kid that came from Bethune ended up being a bust, and the Bucks missed out on all those guys: Elway, Marino, like
wow,
all of them. It was so bad.
Yeah,
it's crazy. So that's why I'm like, anything can happen on a night like tonight.
Yeah, Master P was definitely his agent. Oh my gosh,
That's crazy.
Every type of career, he's
done
the
everything.
ultimate hustler, like literally.
Absolutely. What's our time check, y'all? Because we got to be in place.
It's 7:55. We got 5 minutes, right?
We got 3 minutes because I got to go get in front of the TV. Okay?
Really 3. Okay, really 3. So that means that we need to spit off and kind of wrap this thing up. So one thing I do want to one thing I do, and he probably is the one who got all these other rappers in sports agencies. I wouldn't be surprised.
I remember he was with the basketball too.
He played basketball.
He
was an NBA player for a quick little minute. So he's probably the one who really. I always wondered like how these rappers decide to just start owning
No Limit Sports. I'm crying.
No limit wow.
No Limit Sports.
I don't know.
It's a real thing.
Listen,
this is a real.
That's
you
crazy.
learn something new every day.
That's crazy.
So as we get ready to kind of wind this thing down, we want to give like shout outs to HBCU athletes who are hoping and praying to get their names called over these next few days. Special big shout out to our FAMU Rattler NFL prospects looking for big things. There will of course be some bragging different when they land on their teams.
Wait, one question.
Okay.
Where do you have Carson Vincent going? What round do you have him going?
I could see that one being like a fourth rounder.
I was thinking fourth too. Yeah, I was thinking fourth.
Fourth round,
maybe fifth.
Offensive lineman, if I'm correct, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and he's from Alabama A&M.
Philly wouldn't be a bad place. You know, Philadelphia keeps offensive linemen. They develop them really well. Denver is not a bad place. Denver's going to be a good offense this year, I think. They already have a talented defense. Where else would there be? There's a couple places. Maybe Indianapolis, possibly. There's another spot. You know, Indianapolis
needs to go get a quarterback because Anthony Richardson.
That's true.
Safety net, just in case, depending on what Anthony does. Anthony Richardson, he's a little iffy, in and out, up and down, and so they definitely need a quarterback.
I would probably ride it out 2 years, this year, next season, and get Manning, get Arch.
The young,
that would be some legacy too.
How many years do you think you think he'll do another 2 years?
Arch?
I think so because his family's very old. Yeah, they didn't let him get recruited until a certain point.
And it would be honest, the Mannings seem to want Arch to like really live out the college part of his life and not rush him into just being another Manning quarterback. Like I can see them just saying like, no, stay there, you're fine, get your development.
He getting money.
Oh, that's not a problem. NIL, he already has
he getting money.
He's got all
that. I think I like that.
That's a good idea. I never considered that. I like that too. But then that puts the Colts in limbo for a couple of years, and they would have to probably tank. Do you think Arch Manning would be a first round draft? I mean, a number 1 top draft pick?
I think so. If his development goes the way it's supposed to, I think so. Like it was a little shaky this year because he's the backup and stuff like that. Like granted, like he's going in there in a tough spot because it's like when you put him in the third quarter against Georgia and he hasn't played much, it's like come on, what do you expect? Like he can't do a whole lot, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. I'm curious to see what he does this season and how he builds up his. Yeah.
Okay, y'all, we gotta go.
Okay, it's 7:59. We probably got a few seconds. Thank you so much, Penalty Talk. Make sure you check out. Give a shout out to your show. Let them know where you find you.
Oh yeah, you can definitely go on Penalty Talk. You know, I'll share it on X. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Y'all can all of you watching on YouTube head over to Penalty Talk. We did a mock draft last night with Trey, who does No Disrespect But podcast for the Saints, and we did a whole entire mock draft, first round with a couple of trades here and there, and it was pretty good. It was pretty interesting. I mean, the Saints bias was real because, for the love of God, they had the Saints going back into the first round to get Jalen Milroe. I told them, I'm like, that pick could have waited until the second round, but hey, it is what it is. So,
okay.
All right, y'all.
Shout out to our girl Miss Tamara T. And you came in the last couple of seconds of the show. We're getting ready to end it out early. We purposely came on early to make sure we did a pre-draft show, talk a little football, and this draft is officially started. So we're gonna give everybody a chance to enter the draft tonight. First pick, let us know. Talk on X. We'll talk to y'all later.
One Hillman. Let's go all our HBCU prospects.
Definitely.
And always, as always, go Rattlers.
I'm sending up a prayer hoping that we can get Jamari Gassett to Tampa.
That'll be a great one. Hometown.
Yes.
Let's go Rattlers.
Yes,
ma'am. Talk to y'all later. Peace.